News Talk 640 WFNC. Let's just get into it. Andrew Chapman is on the screen on my podcast here. Woodpeckers are doing their thing. Is this homestand going on? What's going on, man?
Yeah, we're here for 12 games in a row. It's the longest
Wow.
homestand of the summer. Yeah, we usually have one of these a year, but we'll be here all the way through next week. And we just started up a new homestand yesterday. The Woodpeckers got a 6-3 win over Kannapolis. And the important thing about this homestand is that it's the end of the first half and the start of the second half. So in our league, the records reset after the end of the first half, and then you start the second half and you compete for a second half championship to get to the playoffs. So on Thursday night, that'll be our final first half game, and then the records reset on Friday, and we'll
Start
fight for the playoffs. Yeah, start all over.
Well, how you guys been doing?
Really good towards the back end of the first half here. We're on a 6-game winning streak right now, and the season started a little bit slow, so we've been playing from below the 500 mark most of the year. And in our division, the Fredericksburg Nationals, they ran away with the title. They clinched it like a week and a half ago. Almost 50 wins in the first half, which is crazy.
Wow.
But we've won 6 in a row towards the back stretch of this first half. We're just a game back of 500 now with 2 games to go. And the team's been performing better and better as the year's gone on. We have a couple of the top prospects in the Houston Astros farm system, so that's been a cool story in town. Just a couple of teenage kids who are lighting it up in professional baseball. And then the second half, the big story is always the MLB draft. So the draft happens during All-Star Weekend in July, and then the Woodpeckers always get a big crop of those new players from the draft that fans get to get a first look at.
How has turnout been? You got some pretty good night games where you got a good crowd out there?
Yeah, the fans have been showing up this year. We've been fortunate to, I think, only have a couple of weather postponements during the weekends this far. We had that big drought in April that didn't have any rain at all. So we were playing baseball. We didn't have any fireworks, though. There was that burn ban, which has been lifted since those early months. So fireworks are back. We got a couple of shows this homestand, both on Friday night. And that we've definitely seen increased attendance just since the fireworks have started. Fans coming out to see those, and yeah, it's been good to see the folks in the seats this year.
It's 8:28 right now. If you're just joining us right now, Andrew Chapman is the Fayettville Woodpeckers media relations guy, but also the broadcaster, does that play-by-play. I was listening to you the other day. I said, man, this guy's got an incredible voice. I said, Trev, your job is in jeopardy, man.
100%.
You're gonna have to give me a couple extra tricks there, Gilbert. You got a good voice yourself.
Well, it's. Have you always called baseball?
That was my primary sport. Yeah, just growing up in Stockton, California. My dad was the general manager of the local minor league baseball team, so I just grew up around minor league ball, playing baseball, watching baseball. The Atlanta Braves were my team. In the 90s, even though I was living in California, Ted Turner was smart putting those Braves games on TV for a national audience.
That was America's team.
Yeah, it was.
It great broadcast.
And I fell in love with the pitchers, and Chipper Jones is my favorite player. So baseball's always been sport number one for me. But as my broadcast career has gone on, I've been fortunate to work with Fayetteville State out here, do some of their basketball, their football, volleyball, do some stuff with the colleges up in the Triangle as well. So I try and do as many sports as I can now.
Well, it's got to be just fun stuff to get out there and watch the play-by-play.
Mm-hmm.
You've been watching a little bit of football.
Yeah,
with the World
football.
Cup.
Football.
Football. We call it soccer, but
right.
man, it's an insult to call it soccer
Yeah.
to the people who are in the World Cup right
so
now.
I'm a USA fan, obviously, first and foremost. Now, Italy is always the secondary team for me, and they've had a really rough stretch. I think they've missed 3 World Cups in a row now, somehow. But the field expanded this year in the World Cup. There's up to 48 teams now, so it's easier to get in. And the play's been good. Yesterday Messi had a hat trick, which was pretty cool. And Mbappe, the star for France, scored a couple of goals. There's this big giant guy for Norway named Erling Haaland. He had a couple of goals yesterday as well. So the stars have been performing. Spain laid an egg. They drew 0-0 against Cape Verde.
Wow,
small little African country in their first ever World Cup. So that was a shocker.
You got to love the upsets, though.
Oh yeah.
It's exciting for the fans to see a small team like that. Put down a team as well known as Spain.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the series is going on all over. Of course, there are teams playing. I think Chicago, New York, and where else here in the United States?
So it's I think it's 2 Canadian locations, 8 U.S. locations and also 3 stadiums down in Mexico. So it's more of a North American World Cup, and it's pretty cool seeing our football stadiums like Dallas. And last night it was Arrowhead Stadium where the Chiefs and Pat Mahomes play, but Messi's playing a soccer game in a
Yeah.
football stadium. So I think that's pretty cool. And then the World Cup final is going to be at MetLife Stadium where the New York Giants and the Jets play.
Well, you know, the World Soccer Federation, they have these deals that are drawn up years in advance in terms of where these games are going to be played and everything like that. So it's neat to see some of our big places holding these major soccer games. There was a little game in New York, 57 years, or how long was it since the Knickerbockers won the NBA title?
Yeah,
1973?
1973. Yeah. I wasn't around to watch that one.
Well, I graduated from high school, so that was Walt Frazier and all those guys. Earl the
sure.
Pearl Monroe. I mean,
Right.
I was always number 10 because of Walt Frazier or Earl the Pearl Monroe. So, you know, I was that was my era, and so now to know after all those years, finally, I was DJing somewhere, and there were all these New York jerseys on inside the club. And
That's
then,
cool.
oh, there's a little hockey thing too. We won a little hockey game.
Yeah.
What's your take on the Hurricanes, man? 20 years.
How about that? 06 or 08 was the last one, and now they just got their second. I heard the big parade's going to be Saturday morning up in Raleigh. So I know we have some of our Woodpecker employees that are going to try and hit that up in the morning.
You
and then
guys
get
got
back.
a game?
We do Saturday night. We have a ball game, but the parade's during the day. So maybe go up to Raleigh, go parade with the Hurricanes, and then come watch the Woodpeckers. But I'm super excited for the town of Raleigh. You know, the Hurricanes have had a couple runs late in the playoffs in recent years, but they finally go the distance. And only thing that would have been better is maybe a Game 7 win in Raleigh, but they got it done out in Vegas and still got to celebrate accordingly. I saw they were carrying the Stanley Cup in and out of bars in Raleigh yesterday. I think they actually dented the top of it.
Well, that'll
like
happen.
the top bowl, from just partying too hard with the Stanley Cup. But that's pretty cool.
Well, when I saw the Stanley Cup the last time they won it, people walking around with white gloves on, you know,
Right.
not wanting to touch it or anything like
Yeah,
that.
but then when you win the Stanley Cup, then it just, all bets are off. They start eating cereal out of the thing,
Sure.
and
Well,
chugging beers.
Well, you know, it's a neat thing for North Carolina to have that notoriety. Here it is, as warm as we are, we're the national champions in hockey.
Hockey, how about
Something
that?
out of Canada, right? Go figure. But that's all right. But look, if you think back, Brindamar was a player, was captain 20 years ago when they won it, and now he's the coach.
Yeah,
Look at all the storylines.
Yeah,
that you
so
have.
he's got a couple, and then Jordan Stahl, the captain
MVP.
for the Hurricanes. He won a Stanley Cup with the Penguins way back when, but on that 08 team was his older brother Eric Stahl, and Eric was there in attendance on that in Vegas the night they won it. Got to go down on the ice with brother Jordan and hoist the cup with him. I thought that was one of the coolest family stories.
You
at the end
know,
of the
what
game,
is that
too.
like even for the Woodpeckers? I mean, you got young kids who have baseball dreams, have major league dreams. You win a championship or you do really well that season. There's storylines everywhere, and you kind of even give those out in play-by-play while you're talking about kids who are playing.
That's what it's all about. It's about talking about the backgrounds of where our players grew up. Many of them from poverty in different Latin American countries like Cuba and the Dominican Republic. So in this beautiful ballpark in front of a few thousand fans every night is really just a dream come true for these guys. And a lot of them are playing for family members that are still back home in their hometowns. And single A baseball is like the initial proving ground, right? It's where players find their confidence. They take on professional baseball, whether you're out of college or coming in internationally. And if you succeed at this level in Fayetteville and you get that promotion, a lot of the times that is what can really accelerate a guy's career. And next thing you know, they're a big leaguer and they're in the World Series, and you say, "Well, that story started in Fayetteville."
Have you been making the calls on players, and all of a sudden they get called up? What is that? You mean, do you know? You say, "Oh, so and so is getting called up, and this is his last game here. He's getting called up." How does that work?
I usually don't know going into a game whether a player is going to be called up. There's been a couple of occurrences where a pitcher who's been really good for us over the last few weeks gets promoted on the mound by the manager as he goes to take the baseball
Wow.
from him, and is like, "Congratulations, you're going up to high A, pack your
Wow.
stuff." So there's been some cool instances like that where you can sometimes tell what's going on the field as you're watching it. And then aside from that, the other cool thing is just big locker room celebrations where, the manager will call a team meeting, and everybody's like, "Oh man, what's going on here?" And then he shouts out, "This guy's going up to
There
high
you go.
A, congratulations!" And then the whole locker room, dog piles him. So there's cool stories like
Well,
that.
look, Andrew, let's stay in touch. I'm
Yeah.
glad we're able to get you on here today to talk about the Woodpeckers
Lot of
homestand
baseball,
that's going
yeah.
on.
Yep.
What's the stand from when to when?
We just started yesterday, and we're rolling all the way through next week. So we still next Sunday. So we have a Father's Day game this Sunday, and then a whole nother series behind that here for 2 weeks to watch the Woodpeckers. Yeah.
All right, we appreciate you. Andrew Chapman is the media relations person for the Fayettville Woodpeckers, but more importantly, he's the voice you hear calling play-by-play. You're out of here. He could go all the way. No, you don't say that in baseball.
Yeah.
Andrew, thank you so much, man. It's good to see you.
You bet, guys.
All right, you're listening to News Talk 640 WFNC. We've got local news right now with CBS 17. We'll get your picture.
Good morning.
Get your picture sitting right there.
17 newsroom. I'm Bill Young. With temperatures climbing into the upper 90s and increasing humidity, cooling stations are set up throughout Cumberland County. Locations include the Fast Transit Center on Franklin Street.
The
First
Father's
Floor
Day
and
speaker
Health
at the
Department
church
on
that
Ramsey
was in
Street,
here.
plus all 8
I don't write
public
speeches.
libraries. The route now
but
set
I'm gonna
for the
say
Carolina
something.
Hurricanes
There we
Championship
go.
Parade in downtown Raleigh. It begins at 11 a.m. on Hillsborough Street and ultimately ends at City Plaza with a rally featuring the players, coaches, and special guests. Parking is going to be at a premium,
There it
so
is.
people are encouraged to carpool.
I'll
or
send
All
that
right.
to you.
Heck
I'll send it
yeah.
to you.
It's good stuff.